What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Round 19 fan cams. I didn't think we'd be doing it like this at halftime, that's for sure. But here we are. Carlton 11-11-77 to North Melbourne 18-8-116. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. That third quarter was as bad as I've seen. I don't know. I really did feel like it was there. Like, I feel like we were there. I feel like we would just need to clean things up after halftime. But to see the way they came out in that second half and seemingly give up, I don't know, just seemingly give up the way they did and the way they let North Melbourne walk all over us the way they did. It's really disappointing. But anyway, I'm here for therapy, so that's what it's going to be. I guess there's a learned beauty we have now with losses. We can come here and have a chat amongst each other. Going to get some people on today. I've got a few people in the waiting room. I'll post the link a little afterwards. Obviously, goes without saying, you come on here, everything you say you're accountable for. We all know what that line is not to cross, but I'm sorry, the club have to be held accountable for that. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what was that? So let's start off the rank. I think we'll get Pommy in because he was on the watch along. So we'll start here. Enjoy this, everyone. Stick together. Pommy.
Yeah, the boys.
The fuck was that, mate?
Oh, I mean, I hate to say it, I've been saying it all year that Teague has zero clue. And we said it in the previews, didn't we, that we're going to see a lot about what Teague is about this week. He's going to have to change it up. He's going to have to adapt. And, I mean, playing men behind the ball to give them space to do short kicks. We knew that in the scouting report, they spend 30% of their time through the corridor, allowing that to happen tactically. Then we go back and we see that there was no tactical change to the fourth. The fact that these boys evidently in the last 3 weeks have improved somewhere, but as we kept saying, they're playing shit sides. So you can't really read into playing shit sides. And you came against the side today that was just well structured and they pulled us apart. Like, you could have had Harry Mackay there and nothing would have changed. Like, the reality of it is that we're just not a very good side. And when they're set up like that, the problem is we've got to work so hard. And when the boys aren't working so hard, like you saw today, you see the evidence of what we are. And that is just a very poor drilled side with very little to no clue of what's going on, with very little football management, with very little football IQ, with very little plan of how an opposition works. And that's what it is. And the simple facts are that it doesn't matter who's in charge of the club, who's chairman. If you've got a coach like this who hasn't got a Scooby, you ain't going to win. So, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it?
You know, we come off last week, obviously, an emotional week, passing of a legend and whatnot. And we saw, I mean, we were pretty poor for 3 quarters, to be fair. And they lifted and found something in the fourth. And then you start, I mean, I start thinking maybe there's a little bit of a pulse within them. And all right, in the first half today, I mean, I think it was 4 goals, 2-26 to North Melbourne just from defensive transition. And I thought, okay, if we can just clean that up. But the way that they, like, what were they told at halftime? What the fuck happened?
Nothing. You actually saw that the kick started to get deeper, long, with a team that's smaller. You see, the blueprint of how to play with a smaller backline. You see, look at 2017 Richmond. Do you know what I mean? They wrote the book of how to play with a smaller line. Carlton didn't even attempt to do that. That was the least handball change we've ever had this week. And our side was smaller. Do you know what I mean? Than it's ever been this year. I mean, I said it at the start of the game and I'll stand by it. You'll learn a lot about Teague and you learn a fuckload about Teague. And it's okay, like saying last week we got up and about. Did we? We got up and about because we had a rivalry with Swoop Luke. It was a passionate game. But they didn't play well. We played on heart. Steve Silvani passed away. Serge Silvani passed away. Things like that happen. We said, though, that they've got to find what they believed. That was a side today that brought Cripper back because we had to. He kicked 3 good goals, yeah, but his movement, his running patterns were woeful. This team's nowhere near it. The team's nowhere near it. David T, God bless him, whether you like him or not, the guy can coach, and that's fair enough. He got out-coached today by a coach with even less experience than David Teague. They knew how we played. They prepared for it. We either went into this game with arrogance of how we play or arrogance of where we were as a club, and they simply picked us apart. That is 18th has just outplayed us. Territorially, structurally, it was too easy for them. And we said in the scouting report, they're a counter-attack team. They wanted us to go forward because they knew they could hurt us. Absolute appalling performance. Appalling.
It was. It really was, mate. It was. I was frustrated at halftime, but I sort of said, "Don't do what you did last week because they win the game and you don't enjoy it." And then, like, what do we do from here? Because there's a school of thought that the season was dead and all of that. We were never making finals. No worries, fair enough. But the reality was, going into the game, we are 1 game out of the top 8. Essendon are in the 8 going into the round. The season's well and truly alive mathematically, and to fuck it up against North today like that, and who do I think I am saying it like that? Like North, full credit to North, but where are these boys at in their development? Where are they at? They can't back it up. Where are we at?
I think what you saw today was a team that sets themselves up to play to their strengths versus a team that sets itself up to play to its coach's belief, not the players' benefit, the players' skill sets. When the boys play their game style and the game style is quick and it's been moved by hand and been run onto, you start to see a side that plays pretty well because that's what these guys are good. When you're asking them to attempt kicks, you're going to make mistakes because this side isn't a very good kicking side. And it's the nature of the beast. I mean, case in point, what North do very well, and we covered it in the scouting report, was that they look to get goal assists because they know their team's weakness.
Yeah.
And that is kicking at certain angles. Carlton go for the set shot in a position that that they can't kick it because there's no movement ahead of the ball because people are happy to leave it to other people. Last week, we saw a huge improvement because J Sauce kicked that goal and there was an emotion factor to it. The facts are that this side isn't fired up. Like you said it yourself, a game out of finals. How the fuck are we a game out of finals? We don't deserve to be there. We're there because the rest of the AFL is evidently imploding. Is absolutely imploding. And we're somehow in the 8. Do you know what I mean? We're somehow around the 8. And they had a chance where literally, by the grace of God, we are a game outside of the finals. And you saw what happened last year, didn't you, against Adelaide? They didn't show up. And this week, they didn't show up. Do you know what I mean? I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think Harry sometimes masks a lot of our problems. And you saw that today because they kicked as if Cripps bets was Harry and he can take marks in 4 people. The facts are that not many people can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, their inside 50 count, the way Larky played with, these dummy runs, we were talking about the dummy runs. Carlton fell for that hook, line and sinker. Do you know what I mean? Hook, line and sinker. Like, if we go back and look at that scout report, which took me a week to do, Carlton have had fucking a whole year to prepare for this. And you tell me Jacob Weering didn't know that, and you say that Plowman didn't know that, and you tell me that Jones didn't know how they structure their inside 50s? Mate, like, honestly, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you say. David Teague can't coach. Can't coach.
Yeah.
And if you're unprepared, You're going to see it. An old coach once used to say to me, we'll learn a lot about you, Dan, when you're under a bit of pressure. You learn a lot about this side when they're under a bit of pressure, that they're not motivated, they're not prepared, they have no idea. They have no idea because they have no belief in the system. So if they have no belief in the system, they don't have belief in anything. They don't have belief in anything. It's okay getting up for surge, but in real life, you can't have a legend die every week. You have to find that from in here. And belief, confidence starts with knowing your system and knowing you can be okay. And the facts are they don't believe in the system. They don't believe in anything. When you hear Patrick Cripps say he loves Teague, he loves Teague because he's that boss. That he's. I used the analogy on the live today. Everyone has that mate, don't they, whose dad was a complete dickhead who let you drink at 13, let you smoke a bit of green out the back because he was one of the boys. You didn't respect him, though. You thought he was an idiot. You didn't respect him. You respected your dad because he would bollock you and he wanted a standard. And that's what these boys have got at the moment. They've got a coach that he's likable because he doesn't ask for too much. They need a coach like Clarkson who is horrible and demands standards, and eventually you learn to love him because you realise he gives you that extra 10%. This club is a joke. The team is a joke. Year 6 of a rebuild has lost to a side that is starting their rebuild. Not good enough.
Yeah. Well said, mate. Great stuff today. We'll chat a little bit more later.
See you all next week. Thank you for those who stuck by me. I was honestly at death's door, but at the end, I love you all. We're in this together. Hare Krishna.
Good on you, mate. J Barbs with the 5 says that was a disgrace to the navy blue jumper and everyone who has ever worn it. Not hard. No, I can't disagree with that. Deaky T with the 15. Terry, I feel it would be wrong to pile on Murph for getting a game when obviously we have far more serious problems. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think anyone's really piling on Murph. I think it's a club thing and a Carlton thing. All right. Paolo.
I was lost for words throughout that game, mate. I mean, this is where this club is at. You got season on the line, 200th game for a club favourite, and you are absolutely dismantled and picked apart by bottom of the ladder. What an absolute disgrace that performance was today, right? And my issue is that, you know, I was still split with Teague, right? And I gave him the chance today, and I thought to myself, right, if you can prove your tactical nous today with the side out there, that's, you know, we're going to have a makeshift forward line and whatnot. But today just proved to me that coach's box do not have the tactical nous. And if you don't have the tactical nous to beat 18th on the ladder, and the defensive application today, I mean, what are these? What was said at halftime? How uninspiring might the halftime of speech have been? I cannot believe the way they came out after halftime. 7 goals to zip in that third quarter, and it's the most points we've ever conceded this year, and we conceded it against North Melbourne. Nick Larkey's kicked a career-high amount of goals, and so's Taron Thomas. What a disgrace. And these are senior footballers. These aren't young kids that are doing it. These are senior footballers that are going out week in, week out and doing the same thing. It's the same rubbish every week, mate. You know, and this is a problem with this club, mate. All our supporters are so focused on, oh, let's get Murph to 300. Oh, we've got all these players out, mate. No. Structurally, poor. Defensively, poor. Midfield don't want to apply any tackle pressure. We were out-tackled today. We had 60 less disposals than North Melbourne. We had 60 less touches than North Melbourne, and they out-tackled us. They went at 80% disposal efficiency, which shows you how poor the pressure was on the ball carrier. This was nothing to do with talent or anything like that. If you're telling me that Carlton team out on the park there is not more talented than North Melbourne, then you're off with the fairies, mate. That is all about application today. All about application. What a disgrace the way they rocked up for Ed Kerno when he's 200th. They say, you know, we've released all these videos about him and how great he is at the club and how much the players love him, and that's what they give to him. That's what they give to a bloke who's had 200 games at the club. Disgrace. They should all hang their heads in shame after today, mate. Coaches included and admin staff, mate. You promised the world with all these emails and all these sponsors and all this stuff, mate, and you go out and deliver that garbage. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
don't know what they're going to be able to say in response to that.
You can't say anything, mate. Don't say anything. Shut the doors down, batten the hatches, and just shut up. Shut up, mate. I don't care about if they love Teague or respect. That's what I want. I don't care if you love the coach. Go out there and perform. Get results. Because what they dished up today was nothing short of disgraceful. Thank God we weren't there. That's all I'll say. Thank God we were not there.
Can you imagine?
I don't want to imagine. I don't want to, because I'm thinking things now that I can't say because of my professional career. But Jesus Christ, mate, I want to know what was said at halftime for them to come out like that. There is no spirit in the team. There's no spirit instilled by the coaching staff in this team. And I don't care about people saying, oh, the standards are high and, oh, we've got to delete what the cheer squad say off Twitter posts because God forbid the cheer squad gets angry and upset with players who dish up that crap. Where's the focus gone at this football club, Terry, mate? Where's the focus gone?
It's true.
It's ridiculous. It's just laughable. We conceded 116 points to North Melbourne. Nick Larkey's walking into goal. Taron Thomas is having a laugh. Plowman's having a laugh with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Larkey's just pulled his pants down again out the back. I mean, how can you not? You know what? I'll tell you what does me up the wall, right? All year, what's been our problem? Defensive transition, right? Hi, Michael. How are you? That's been our problem all year, yeah? How have they not fixed it? Isn't that what coaches are employed to do, to fix the issues? They said in the last 3 or 4 weeks that the defensive issues have been fixed. Wrong. Adelaide kicked inaccurately. They still had a heap of inside forward 50s, and they nearly beat us. Fremantle kicked inaccurately, so don't tell me that we've improved defensively in that regard. And then we played probably the worst Collingwood team that's ever fielded the park in the last 15 years, in more recent times. And apparently we've improved defensively. The scoreline for each team in the last month has been a facade because there has still been the same issues defensively and with a defensive from a defensive application point of view, mate. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. Not good enough. Look, for me, this was the day. This was the day for him, for our coach. And as far as I'm concerned, he's gone. He's gone.
Failed. It was a failed.
How many? I mean, he's failed against top 8 teams and he's failed against last.
No good.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Terry. I'm not coming on today.
I don't blame you, mate.
That's it.
You're
Bye,
done?
everyone.
Anyway.
I can swear and rant and rave and I can do all that, but at the end of the day, mate, when the players and the leaders come, mate, these leaders at the club from top to bottom, mate, they couldn't lead a horse to water, let alone make it drink at the moment. It's ridiculous. I mean, and when they say, and there have been some things that I've seen from some of the players as well, messages to fans saying, oh, if you're not on board with us now, we know where we're going, the age and the list profile of the this and the that, and, the 6-year reboot, mate, it's just, you know what all that is? It's all a facade, and it's just all club propaganda to just get you to sign back on again. And we've become a haven for the free agent. How good is that, mate? You're paid $600,000 to $700,000 to $800,000 a year, and you don't have to live up to a premiership standard. How good's that? What an enjoyable lifestyle that is.
It's hard to disagree.
Oh, absolutely insipid, mate. And you know what? Today was nothing. If people start coming up with the injury excuse after today, oh, mate, seriously, don't. Please don't. Yeah. Please don't.
No. Well said, mate. Well said.
That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm tapping out for now and jump a punch. We'll record tomorrow and God help Rocco and Mars is all I'll say.
See you, Tez.
See you, boys.
See you.
1 sec. Ugo with the 10 says, conceded 17 goals against the bottom team. No respect to the opposition and Kerno's 200th, and a sad day for Carlton. Very true. Tristan, best defender in the comp, playing at full forward. I'll tell you what, that was the moment. I mean, I'm sure everyone here who's a Carlton supporter remembers Brendan Bolton coaching and having Jacob Wiedering forward. I could not believe that he was back in that forward line. Anyway, young Ari. Can't hear you, mate.
Yes, now you can.
How are you?
Not great, especially after that. But
It wasn't good, was it?
I mean, that's one way to put it. That was. I think we all kind of knew it was going to happen. Like maybe not today, but that sort of performance was coming. Yeah, whether it was today or against Hilda or in our next coming games, nothing can stay good for a long period of time at this club, especially in recent times.
Yeah, we've been hanging our hat on, well, the club as well have been hanging their hat on the fact that we don't get blown out in the last 2 years. Just the way it looked towards the end, the witches' hats that we look like, the way they were just slicing us up. I don't know how Harry Mackay fixes that today.
I mean, we couldn't even get it in there. And when we did, it was the same thing over and again, just looping the ball up. I've got like broken tackles. How many broken tackles? Just from the start as well. It wasn't even towards the end or in that third quarter. From literally the first quarter, we could not do anything.
From senior players too, very senior players.
I mean, Cripps, he should not have played today. I get he kicked 3, but he looked underdone. And how many times has that happened? When key players who have been injured and come back 1, 2, 3 weeks too early. It was. Yeah. I mean, I saw Swoop Luke's tweet. We looked hungover from our grand final win last week.
It's true. We drank the Kool-Aid. We thought we were back. We thought we were a game out of the 8 and there was something to play for. But there was something. There's so much to play for. The season's there if we want it. If we want it, it's there. But it's like, how much do you want it? Are you willing to make the sacrifices? Are you willing to go beyond, what you think you're capable of? And I just can't believe how North Melbourne played today. I can't believe it.
We made them look like superstars. Nick Larkey kicking 7. I mean, Stevenson played well. Zerha got injured and still played well. Like, it was, yeah.
Because they have heart. They have heart, North. They play with a spirit. You can see it.
And it's ingrained in their club. Like, throughout, like, even now this year, they haven't been playing that well, especially at the start, but they still stuck fat. They kept going, they kept going. And then you look at us, as soon as something goes wrong, we just capitulate. Everything needs to go perfect for us to win. We struggle to fight through any sort of adversity.
Yeah. No, very well said, mate. Very well said. What now? What happens for next week? What now?
I never want to think about that. It's the Saints next week, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe now it's time to get Honey, maybe even Ramsey. Just get the kids in. Just now the season's finally done. Just play the kids. I don't think Charlie should come back this year. Nothing to play for. Don't risk him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will come back, but
fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
And I thought just one last thing. I saw this tweet. We have lost since 2014. We have lost to every side that's finished last since 2014.
Every year?
Yeah. Unless the tweet was fake and they got their stats wrong, but that's if you want to encapsulate Carlton in the last decade in a sentence, there you go. There
it is. Let's see how we go, mate. Thanks so much for coming on.
All good.
See you, bro.
Thank you.
Luca with the 8 says, how long have we been down the bottom for and not played with heart? Too fucking long, if you ask me. Rocco.
What a bunch of weak pricks they are, seriously. From the top to the bottom, that is so weak, man. Didn't you send me a message saying, this smells like Adelaide of last year? And it's exactly that, wasn't it? How weak was that? By everybody. Every single player was weak out there, man. I don't know, man. I've got nothing more to say, man. This is so bad. This is worse than last year. Last week we kicked we had one good quarter, and I think not everyone, started drinking the Kool-Aid. I reckon the players started drinking the Kool-Aid before they even come into this week, mate. Seriously, that was North Melbourne, for crying out loud. North Melbourne, we just lost to, and they scored like 120 points or whatever. Just, do you know that this year we're the only side that's conceded 100 points 8 times.
Wow.
Most of any other side. And our defence is supposed to be our best part of our team, for crying out loud. I don't know, man. Making mistakes. No.
You know what's hard? Like you want to get passionate, and then you get to a point where you're like, who am I supporting? I'm supporting a bunch of people who aren't even passionate about what they're doing.
No, they don't. I don't know why. They just do not give a fuck. I don't know why.
How does it not? Don't they? There's a saying in Greek. You say they're drepeses. Like, are you embarrassed? Like, don't you have like a? Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Aren't they embarrassed? Aren't they embarrassed of that performance? You know, like some of those moves they did, and there's Teague's, like, we keep blaming Teague, and it is, man, he's got no moves. I don't understand what he's doing. North had structure. See the way they were playing, and see their tempo. They could slow it down when they needed to. We panic. We just kick. How do we kick along to such a small forward line? Like, I don't get it. We still just bomb. Let's just bomb the ball. It's every time they panic. There's something wrong there. Every time they panic, they just bomb the ball. That means they've got no idea. You look at North. Whenever they got the ball and they found themselves in trouble, they would turn back and there was a player there waiting for them, you know, like to get that relief handball or something, you know. We haven't got that. I don't know, man. I'm lost. This is like, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't really know what to do anymore. That's embarrassing.
You know, and it's just rinse and repeat. A little bit of a pulse, then the very next week, this, and then they're going to get the hard feedback. I can already see it. It's going to be either Wiedering, Jones, or one of the legal Crips. On Monday, we'll be saying we're not shying away from it. We gave some really strong feedback to each other. We sat around a table. We looked each other in the eye. We're going to get a little bit of a response next week, and then we're going to be back here in 3 weeks.
That's all words to me. That means nothing to me. Show me something. Like, I don't even think that. Did you see at the end that, what was that, Larky? Who's Larky?
Wayne Carey.
Right? All of a sudden, if you watch his last couple of goals, there was no pressure on this kid. There was no pressure. The last goal, he sat there. Look at the replay. He sat there, waited, right? The ball fell short, and then it slowly got to him. He turned around and snapped for goal with no pressure. And look at the Carlton players in front of that, just did nothing. They just stood there. I'm telling you, man, like, this to me, the team, those players we've got aren't that bad.
No, they're
not that fucking bad. But so why aren't they giving it their all? This has to come from the top, man. Look, unfortunately, I said this from the start, Teague, this job's too big for him. It's just too big for him. He can't handle it. We can't be this bad. We can't have this natural improvement from these young players, add a few, but, you know, A-graders, and be worse. We are worse off than last year. Look at our percentage is worse. We were 7 games after 17 rounds. We're 7 games after 18 rounds. We've got a worse percentage, right? And with injuries, I don't want to hear this injuries bullshit, because that injuries doesn't make up for that effort that they don't put in, you know, like the effort they don't put in. Anyway, this is sad.
It is sad. It's there's a death to it. There's like a stink of a rotten carcass, and there is a school of thought, and I would never want to lose a game, but I actually, part of me, maybe this is the darkness inside, it's coming out where people have said we needed a loss like this, and we fucking did. Yeah. Because it's all out there now.
Yeah, 100%, man. And now look, real questions have to be asked this week. All the supporters and that, let's be real. Do you think there is no? We've got to move on to this, man. And there's a couple of people out there, you know who they are. And if we can get them, look, I think Clarkson would give you an extra 10%. And, 10% is a lot. So anyway, join in, jumper punch this week. I'm sure Mars has been sending me messages. He's irate. So it's going to be a huge one this week.
All right, mate. Let's see how we go. Take it easy. We'll speak to you soon.
Oh. Enjoy, guys. Keep strong. See you, mate.
See you, mate. All right. Joseph Adamo.
All right. I'll just get it out of the way. 12 and 10, dead. I'll put my hand up. Yes. All right. There's a bit of Kool-Aid. There was a little bit of whatever. That's fine. But you know what? What I will say is this. All right. You can call me a clown. You can call me whatever you want for 12 and 10. If every player, if everyone in that coach's box had that mindset that they could genuinely play finals, we'd be playing finals and we would have won that game today. Number one. I'll put my hand up. It's over. Whatever. Fine. Season's done from that perspective. You can talk about the game, and there's going to be a lot of talk about the game, so I might not. What I want to focus on is that this is so much bigger than just week to week, how are we feeling? Week to week, what did we think? Week to week, it's Teague, it's not. It's none of that. It's way bigger than this. And I've stuck by Teague. I'm happy to continue to stick by Teague, and I will. But what I'll say is this: that is a coach killer's performance. So it won't surprise me to see Teague's job on the line now. And there's nothing, opinion doesn't matter at this point. But what will surprise me is if Teague is the only one that goes. We need a full clean out of the football department, of the administration, of everyone that sits besides Teague. All of them go if he goes. All of them. This is 10 years of losing. This is a culture that was built on being told that wins and losses do not matter. You told this playing group, you told these kids, you told Wiedering, Cripps, Walsh, Dow, O'Brien, list goes on. You told every single one of these players that results do not matter. Who signed off on that? Where's the head of football putting his hand up? Where's the CEO putting his hand up? Where's the fucking president, the outgoing president, putting his hand up? Fine, you did what you needed to do off field, but on field, we don't demand success. No one does at this football club. No one. And bringing in Clarkson alone or whoever you want to bring in as a new head coach doesn't change a fucking thing. We're kidding ourselves if we think that's the answer. Fucking kidding ourselves.
There's something you've brought up that I don't think anyone has really brought up there. The foundations of this rebuild started with, it's not about wins and losses. In the
history of AFL football, there have been plenty of teams that have rebuilt. Plenty. We've rebuilt about 4 times, but never as part of a rebuild. Never has a club, top to bottom, signed off on a strategy saying this is how we're going to be defined. And we're going to be defined not by results, but by the development of our players under a 14% win record under Brendan Bolton. Patrick Cripps has a 26% win record to his name across his career. And you ask why he doesn't give a shit. He's been taught to lose. They've all been taught to lose. And it doesn't start with the head coach because we've had 4 of them. 4 in that time. There are bigger questions to be answered. And until head of football Brad Lloyd, until CEO Kane Little, until Mark LaJudice, I don't give a fuck if he's outgoing, until he steps up and puts his hand up to say we got it wrong, that wasn't the strategy we should have gone with, until all of that is taken out from under the rug, and until we get a full clean out of admin and football department, nothing changes. Nothing. Plain and simple. Don't overthink it. The club's fucked systemically. The culture is fucked systemically. It runs that deep. You could put God in that head coach's position, God himself, and nothing else changes around him. We're still shit. Plain and simple.
It's a big month coming up. What do we look for now? Now what?
Someone said don't play Charlie Kerner. I think you have to. If he's fit, if he's ready to go, you've got to start getting games into him. You've got to get some confidence into him. Ahead of next season, you've got to get some match fitness. He's got to go into next season thinking, my body's good. I'm good to go. I can hit the ground running in preseason. I think he needs to play at least 2 or 3. Blood Brody Kemp, blood Josh Honey, blood the kids. I'm not going to have a crack at Murphy, but walk into 300 games now. Who cares at this point? Like, seriously, who cares? He did nothing for me today. He wasn't the issue, but walk into 300. He deserves it. He stuck by the club across all those years. He could have left for bigger money. Walk in there. It really doesn't matter at this point. There is no sense of a winning culture about this club. We're a culture of losers. Losers. And until everyone that signed off on that strategy goes, until that changes, nothing changes. Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tez, where are you at? I need to know where you're at with all of this after today. And I'm not talking about the game itself, because the game you can talk about for hours on how bad it was. It was bad. But for me, it's clear as day. Clear as day.
I mean, you look at the North Melbourne strategy. Noble walks in, rips the place a fucking part, and really builds strong foundations. And they're starting to reap the benefits of it now. You just watch the way they play with that edge. They lost last week, but they still had the edge. The West Coast game was that light bulb game for them. And West Coast, great example. We played West Coast without all of their players and couldn't get it done. They played West Coast in Perth with all of their players and embarrassed them. So we say it every year. This is the biggest off-season in the club's history. Well, here we are again. And it's not even about going and getting A-grade talent. It's about fixing what's in.
Exactly right.
You know?
Right. This isn't about bringing in those 1 or 2 players that everyone thinks we're missing. Fuck that. We've got the list. We've got the list. They've just been taught wrong. They've been drilled etched into their mindset that, I'm sorry, go back and have a look at the post-game. Cripps was smiling in the change rooms. I don't blame him. He's got a 27% win record across his career, 130 games. Of course you're going to be smiling. That's what you've been taught. It's what you've been taught. It's what's been drilled into you top to bottom at this football club. This isn't the football club I grew up hearing about. It's not. This isn't the Carlton Football Club anymore. This club has been turned on its head by being told that mediocre is okay. They're not even mediocre. That shit is okay. Shit. The results don't matter. Results do matter. Results do matter. We're kidding ourselves if we think we're even close to playing finals football. We're kidding ourselves if we think we're going to play it next year, regardless of whoever's at the helm. Yeah. This takes years to recover from. Yeah. Years.
Well said, mate. Appreciate you articulating yourself with such class.
I got a bit emotional, but, it is what it is.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
We'll work up. But, Almost Blues Brothers, Tuesday morning, as usual. We'll try and be a bit more level-headed in the approach, but that's probably what you're going to hear from me for the rest of the week, to be honest.
Good luck.
See you, Tez.
See you, brother. J Barbs, Carlton needs a culture coach, a club great to teach them what a privilege it is to wear the navy blue and how to bust your guts to win. Riley says that was a wake-up call that Harry is important. Yeah, it's very important. Nick.
I'm on here out of respect for you.
Thanks, mate.
It takes a lot of balls and patience that I don't possess to front up, win, lose or draw, but every single week you get on and you allow others to have their say, and that shows a commitment and a dedication that our playing group and our coaching staff and all those in charge of our club, I don't think they possess that passion or that care factor, that commitment.
Isn't that the worst thing that a player could possibly hear? Like, I reckon that would be the hardest, but I don't actually think they care that it's being said.
They unequivocally don't. I remember, we're all deciding, is this the night the coach gets the sack or all that's okay? Well, if it is or isn't, we'll see on Monday, I guess. But all I can think of as we're saying this right now is the last days of Brendan Bolton. Those days were fucking terrible. And we lost a game, I think it was to the Bombers, which was the one that broke the camel's back. We went to GWS, got done. The weekend after, we got done by the Bombers. And it was all of about 5 degrees. I think it rained as well. And I remember tweeting something that night from the Cheer Squad account. And I said something along the lines of, massive shout out to the dozen or so Cheer Squad members who 2.5 hours after the game are still packing up the banner, still packing up the van and all the flags and floggers and giving their time and energy 2 hours after the game, after sitting in the cold for 2.5 hours, for 3 hours watching that bullshit, and who keep turning up. The players could learn a bit from their dedication and their commitment, is what I tweeted there. And that's what I'm thinking now. We weren't there to set up banners or anything like that, but it's people like you. We've just seen Joseph, we've seen Rocco, we've seen Paolo, we've seen all these all these guys who have got podcasts who dedicate their time because their passion for this club is such that we're willing to give of ourselves. We're willing to share our emotions. We're willing to interact with each other and build this community online. And we're willing to speak about how we want to see this club succeed because we've got a passion for it. We've got a desire. It's in our blood. We dream of this club. We breathe and cry for them. I don't think that any of the players, Jack Silvani would be one of them. He does because he grew up going for the club, and you can understand the emotion he showed last week was real, and there's nothing staged about anything like that. But what is staged, and you guys have all mentioned it, every single person you've had on before me has mentioned it, what is staged and what is rehearsed and is just bullshit is we know how, we understand, we're hurting too, we get it, we really do. No, you don't. Patrick Cripps will come out again and, the baggers are back after we beat Freo, and after we beat Adelaide. Oh, we're back. We're starting to see rewards. How many players, and I'll include the coaches, how many people did you hear from the club during the week mention the word finals? During the week. I heard about a dozen times someone online or someone on 360 or whoever they're getting interviewed. So what's the goal now? You've won a couple of games. What is it you're after in the last couple of weeks? Oh, we want to play finals. Wait, what? Finals? Shit. Let's focus on beating the Wooden Spooners first. I saw someone tweet it out. Sorry, whoever I'm stealing this nugget from. Every single year since 2014, we have either been the Wooden Spooners or lost to the Wooden Spooners. Every year since 2014. Now, fuck finals. Let's beat the Wooden Spooners first. There's the first step. They don't care. They simply don't care. We can post a photo of a player smiling, and that's the least of our worries. When the ball is there to be won, they don't want to go for it.
Yeah.
When the game is there to be won before the ball is bounced. Let's pick a team that can win you a game. Let's reward players for effort and reward players for form. Not, Matthew Cottrell runs a lot. So, he's a good athlete. So, there's potential there. We'll play him. Okay. Mish just said they didn't do it for Ed. There's a bloke who hasn't got a lot of talent. He's not a great kick. He's fucking hack kick. Let's be honest. Loved his goal today. But there's a bloke who busts his ass for 200 games and has whatever talent he has milked every single drop of talent he has for the club. Is he a natural superstar like a Gary Ablett or a Kudafidi? No, he's not. But he's someone who's worked his ass off for the club. But I just don't see where this super list we've built, how many of them, and I think Jacob Wiedering's got it. I think, there's a handful that we know are actual stars. But we talk about injuries. Well, Harry coming back. Yes, Harry is a star. Okay, Harry comes back in. Charlie Curnow is a star, albeit after however many knee injuries, what a condition he comes back in. But all the other guys that are out, how many of them do we know we can count on? So up until this year, I've been a bit of a critic of Cunningham. He started to look good, start of the year. But he had 4 games or so of good footy and then gets hurt. When he comes back, will he play at the same standard again? Who else is McGovern? Is McGovern up to it? Where's Marchbank's body at? These are all the guys we're banking on coming back into this side and changing things and actually turning it around. Are any of them actually going to do it? Pittonet, is he going to be the guy? Like DeConning, I thought was all right. He's obviously not ready for full game time, 22 rounds a year, and the poor bloke has no one else to help him, and he has to do it. But where is the injection of talent into this team that's going to actually propel us up the ladder? Because I don't know if it's there.
It's fair enough.
I think we're treading water at best. Sam Doherty comes back in. Yeah, he's a very, very good player. He's had a lot of injuries. But he's also, is he 27 now?
About that,
it's not like these guys that are all coming back are all 22, 23, and I don't know. Zach Fisher, does he care? I see a lot of joking tweets and a lot of...
Get a haircut.
Yeah, he's got a great haircut. He's really good at Fortnite. But, does he give a fuck? Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm not going to... That's very harsh of me to single out Fisher because there was worse than him tonight. But
He was. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
And they're forcing us to drink, Mish says.
On the waters.
You're brave.
Yeah, I'm on the Ribena. They just...
It's good. I mean, I think what I'm sensing so far from those who have come on is we're angry, but it's beyond rage. It's worse. It's it's when your mum says, "I'm disappointed." I'm
not angry. I'm disappointed.
It's worse. It's the worst form.
100%. Yeah, it's patronising. It's patronising anger.
Yeah.
It's not even I know that yelling won't fix this. So why we feel a deflation. There's like a lack of energy, and we are the ones. And I'm trying to think who it was. It was Joseph was talking about how off field, how great things are going, and we've got all these members, and we've got all this money has been injected, and great sponsors, and there's energy off field. That comes from us. So if we're not feeling energized, oh shit. Whatever has succeeded at our club the last 5 or 10, however many years, has been fan driven.
Yeah, that's right.
We keep turning up. We keep people like you willing to put yourself out there for your love of the club. And we get dished up that. On our leaders, someone else mentioned the leaders before. Patrick Cripps has won 37 games of football in his career. Bailey Smith has won 36. And he's been playing as long as a hiccup lasts.
You can see
one fewer game than Cripps.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're good points. Very good points, mate. I appreciate you coming on. And
appreciate all you do, mate. Seriously.
No worries. No worries. Look, it does me. It's therapy for me as well. So I enjoy it. Good on you, mate.
Good luck, all the baggers who are sticking around to be on fan cams. Let it all out. This is therapy, as Terry said.
Absolutely.
Stick with us, guys. Stick together. Don't turn on each other.
For sure. Well said. See you, mate. Marcello.
Fucking angry, Terry. I'm fucking pissed off, mate. I'm absolutely fucking pissed off. The shit they served up today was absolutely fucking putrid. Your fucking leader, up until 3/4 time, your captain, your $6 million man, 12 touches and a goal. Some tin-ass goal from the fucking boundary. Then he goes and stat pats in the last quarter and gives his little fucking fist pump. Why are you cheering that for? You're 45 points down to a fucking pub team. 45 points down to a pub team. How are you cheering that? Copping high fives, it's all right. It's not all right.
It's not.
It's fucking not all right. You got Fisher on his fucking gibber fish talking all this nonsense, all this bullshit. What did he do today? Kicked his bullshit goal, cements it for next week. What did he do? Another lazy footballer. They're all lazy, Terry. Defensive transition is fucking garbage.
It's so bad to watch. It's so bad to watch.
Bullshit. I watched David Teague in that box just like, whatever. Then he comes out at 3/4 time, all irate. Too late. Game's over. It's finished, mate. This happened last year against fucking Adelaide. The same thing. The signs were there. The writing was on the wall. We pissed up all those games that were in front. We're not fucking winners, mate. We don't know how to win games of footy. We come down to these shit teams and we just piss it up the drain. Piss it all over the wall. Every time. What was that last week? What does it mean this week? What does it mean this week to fucking Serge Silvani? What does it mean? What is it? You tell me what it means. Tell me.
Not enough.
It doesn't mean enough. They should have all been fucking brought into those rooms after that fucking game, taking the fucking jumpers off because they're not fit to wear that jersey. They're not fit to wear that fucking monogram anymore. The fucking lot of them. None of them. I watched them after the game and they were all sitting down in the line. Cripps was having a fucking laugh. He was yarning, having a laugh with TDK. I watched that poor kid Sam Walsh on the right of him, just dejected. He was dejected. He's the only player, that poor kid. I feel sorry for him. We don't deserve him, Terry. We don't deserve him. We brought on fucking Murphy off the sub bench. What a piss in our pocket to get into 300 games. That's not what good clubs do. That's not what good clubs do. It's not what great clubs do. We've arguably got one of the best spines in the AFL this year, all Australian. There's probably none better. And where are we? Where do we sit? 14th. We struggle to beat the worst team that I've ever seen. The worst Hawthorn team that I've ever seen put together. The worst Collingwood team I've ever seen put together. The worst Adelaide team. The worst Freo team. We struggle to beat these teams. People need to wake up and smell the fucking coffee. Because he ain't getting enough out of him. They're not doing it. They're not working for him. They don't care. Last week was all on heart for Serge. That's all it was for. It wasn't for anything else. It was for Serge. It was 1/4 of footy because they couldn't put us away, Collingwood. Many teams haven't put us away all year. It happened at Fremantle. I know we can do it, but we're not good enough. We're not good enough for even 1/4. We're good enough for 15 minutes in a quarter. It's bullshit, Terry. It's not good enough anymore. I'm over it. I can't believe Cripps is fist pumping a goal when you're 45 points down. What's that?
Says a lot.
Larky's taking the absolute piss out of us today. And you know what? It's stamped these papers today, David Teague, and this is what stamped Bolton's ones as well. Fucking weedering up forward. What a joke. Weak.
That's how you know. That's how you know.
Weak. It's all over. It's finished. Get Clarkson in, because I'm telling you right now, Clarkson would have this team humming. Top 6, maybe top 4. And we wouldn't be saying maybe finals, maybe 12 and 10. It's not maybe with Clarkson. It's results. If you're not fit to wear the jersey, then fuck off, because it's all done. Teague's a minor in this. It's all board as well. It's all board driven. You'll see in the week, Charlie Kerner, he's going to play. And all the fans are going to go, Charlie's back. Oh, thank God. No, not good enough. Fuck that. I wouldn't play him. And people saying, I want Honey in, I want Ramsey in, I want Kemp. I don't want them in this team. If they come in this team, they feel it'll bring them down. It'll bring them down a level. The shit will come out. It's not good enough anymore, Terry. It's not good enough. I'm angry. I'm infuriated of what I saw today. They laid down. They turned their feet up at every contest. Did we win a centre bounce? Did we win a centre clearance?
It's true.
Karen Thomas was fucking putting fucking Plowman in splits. Where was Balenciaga? He checked out at fucking half time. He went to Chadstone. He bought another sweater. Fuck me. He bought another fucking cheddar. Don't worry, he's got fucking another bag waiting for him. There's a lot of passengers, mate. There are a lot of passengers.
That's
and
true.
I feel sorry for some kids on that team.
Yeah.
Who was Kennedy today? What, he kicked the first goal? Big fucking whoop.
Yeah.
You know, I know you won off today's game.
Dirty win.
It is a dirty win.
Dirty win.
Mate, go buy yourself some bottles of fucking ketamine or something. Because you're going to need it after this, mate. It's beyond a joke now. Mate, I'm done. We lost to a pub team. The worst North Melbourne team I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well said.
You'll see me on the Jabba Punch on Tuesday, and I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, mate.
We look forward to it. It's the Tuesday night routine now. I can't wait, to be honest.
It's not good. I hate doing this shit, Terry. I can't fucking stand it.
It's
if
true.
I was there today, I would have been inside the players' race. Because they don't feel it. They don't feel that. They don't feel the heart anymore. They don't care. They don't give a shit anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
We care. All of us. We care. Even if the opinions are divided, it doesn't matter. We still care. They don't.
Yeah.
They
Spot
don't.
on.
They don't anymore. So I'll leave it there. I'm going to go see my girlfriend. Hopefully she can spark me into life. Bit of happiness. But that's about it because these pricks can't do it anymore. Love you all. Love the whole Brawl family. And that's it. Fuck off Teague. Fuck off Carlton. Get Clarkson in. I'm telling you, he is the remedy. He is the remedy. Let's go. See you guys.
Oh, dear. We want Costa. Tell Costa to message me on Instagram, please, so I can get him in. We've got quite a few in the waiting room. Still, let's go with Jad. Oh, boy.
Are we fucking kidding ourselves, Terry? Are we fucking kidding ourselves? Like, holy shit, man. Holy shit. Let's just go ahead and be honest with ourselves. The rebuild has failed. We've got the list. 100%, but the actual build has failed because we're still here. We just lost to 18th. To fucking North Melbourne. This feels... I messaged you about the dream I had, mate. It came true. It fucking happened.
Literally did.
To anyone who doesn't know, I sent Terry a message saying I had a dream that we were going to get smashed by North or whatever. But, mate, okay, so the rebuild has failed. The building of the culture has failed, right? So I hear people talking about, let's get Murphy to 300. But doesn't that go against what we're saying? Doesn't that go against the culture that has been created where losses are acceptable? Doesn't that go against that? And this is why we need a new coach, mate. And today opened my eyes. I am 100%. It's the coaching, Terry. It's the coaching. So you get a new coach in there, someone who's strong like Clarkson or Lyon, who's going to change the culture. Look, Paddy Dow today had 24 touches. I think that's a personal best for him. But who gives a shit, honestly? If we can have 10 kids get personal best, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with the people we have leading us, mate. Shit. This is why we need someone from the outside, someone successful from outside of our fucking fucked up club to come and change this shit.
Where were you at halftime? How did you see it at halftime?
I was done.
It's okay.
I had a message ready for you, and I just said, "Oh no, I'll just leave him alone. I'll save it for the fan cams," because mate, it's the same thing as we saw last week and the week before and the week before. The system doesn't work. I don't know how many more examples of it we need to see before we accept it. What he is telling them doesn't work, and things like when people talk about heart and soul and they don't care. I don't believe in that. I don't buy that shit, Terry. I've seen plenty of heart and soul this year, like last week and maybe a few other times this year. I don't buy that. What I buy is these guys are not confident in what they're being taught. So when you're not confident, things like kicking, things like skills go down because you don't believe in what you're being told, mate. So how can you play at your most confident and execute under pressure when you don't believe what you're being told? And I'm starting to think this review. Do we ever need a review, Terry? Like, maybe this is just a bad coaching appointment.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, at what point in all of this do we sift through the coaches, assistant coaches, football department? At what point do we go to the board? At what point? Because this board, in what I understand about organizations, culture, everything, standards, it starts from the very top. It doesn't start from the football manager. It doesn't start from the coach. It starts from the board.
Okay, yeah. Look, I hear you and I agree. But the thing with the board is that is never going to change.
Why?
Because there's no one there who wants to change it. This is what I think a coach like Clarkson or Lyon, someone strong, will force that level of change. These board members, they're not going anywhere, mate. They've been there for 20 years. They're not going anywhere. And I understand what you're saying, but are they there day to day? Are they there every single day like a coach is? I don't think they are, mate. You need someone strong. We've just got the coaching appointment wrong. And Dave and Teague is responsible for the culture, for getting the players up, for who he puts around himself. Apparently, he had the option to change that early in the year, last year, and he said no. Like, are you fucking mental? Are you mental? What do you see there? What do you see at that club where you look around and you think, yeah, this is working? Terry, and one thing that shits me about this team, and this was probably coming from the culture as well, is we never, ever bring our own intensity.
Yeah.
We always let shit teams drag us down to their level, and then we have to come and meet them at their intensity and their level. Now, it's either maturity of the group, which I don't buy that shit anymore because they're not kids anymore, or it's coaching. I don't understand why we're so reactive, why we have to wait till the ball is bounced to say, oh, this is the level we have to play at today. Bring it your fucking self. It's been happening for too long. I don't understand it, mate. I don't get it. And, yeah, oh, my God. I fucking had a meltdown today. Fuck. Zach Williams did his hamstring, apparently. Can you believe that? Mr. 800 fucking K did his hamstring. Mr. Fitness. Holy shit, what a shit show. If I'm a free agent, right, I can't wait to leave my club and come to Carlton. Fat shit. No standards, no accountability, whatever. Fuck, Terry.
Well,
fuck.
Very.
Today's the nail, mate. Today's the nail on the coffin for him. That's it.
Yeah,
you need someone strong to come in, someone who's going to dare to change it. To me, I've got about 6 players retired, mate. Like, I don't think Kerno can go on. I don't think Nunes can. Cottrell, holy shit. We've got a lesser version of Lockie O'Brien beating Lockie O'Brien. I don't care if Lockie O'Brien's going to fail or if he's going to make it. I would rather fail with Lockie O'Brien than fail with Cottrell.
That's a good point.
We all agreed to go through 6 years of shit. I remember Sauce said very specifically, who I'm going to give credit to, by the way. I don't give a shit about the backroom politics. He built the list correct, okay? He built the list correct. But holy shit. Yeah, it's all the pieces around him. And apparently, I don't know if this is true or fact, but apparently he told them the coaches were no good. So back to your thing about the board. Who takes accountability for this shit? Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? We agreed to go through 6 years of pain, and here we are in year 6, and we just lost to a team who started their rebuild now. We've never had a win like that. We've never had a win like what North just did to us, have we?
No.
Terry, it's like we're on the rebuild that never arrived. It's never actually happened. It's never happened, Terry.
It's true.
Think about it during the week. It's never come. It's never actually happened for us. We haven't had the big win. We haven't smashed the team. We haven't had the upset win. We haven't done it. It just hasn't arrived, mate. I don't.
Yeah.
Jeez, false promise, 6 years. False promises, mate. False promises.
Very, very, very well said, mate. Very well said. Strong, but well said. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. Thanks for the platform, and holy shit, what a shit week ahead. And let's just do this. I don't know. I'm out of words. I'm just going off emotion now. My emotion's going to take over. All right, man. I'll let you get to the rest of them.
See you, brother.
See you, mate.
He's a star, Jad. We love him. J Barb, the 5. We need a board that isn't all corporates. Should have a former club great and a fan rep. Looking at you, Terry, for the latter. Wow. Sebastian with the 20. Terry, once this fan camp is done, please send this to the club and tell the coach, board, and players to watch the entirety of this video. No, it's I love it and agree with the sentiment, but in the depths of my heart, it would be like, nah, I can't be fuck watching that. Nah, look at these idiots yelling and screaming. I actually don't think anyone's gone over the top. I think there's nothing wrong with anything that's been said here at all. It's just truth. So, but appreciate that, Sebastian. Thank you. I've got a little bit of room here in the waiting room, so I'm going to put the link in. And once this fills out, I'll then get through the 12. So the link's going in now for those who want to jump in, but I'm going to get Riley in for now. Mr. Starray.
Mate, I've been thinking for the last hour and 6 minutes, what's the best way to compare Carlton to something? And I think relevance right now is probably the vaccine rollout in Australia. We promise so much and deliver fuck all. And we continue to deliver fuck all. And it is just it was a disgrace. Like looking like the performance first, like that was one of the worst performances we've had in a long time. It's quite ironic as well that we played North Melbourne today, and that will probably be seen as the death knell of David Teague and the associated coaching staff. And to be truthful, Bolton as well. If you remember a couple of years ago, we played North after that Hawthorn game, and everyone went, oh, shit. It's the same shit, mate. It is the same shit that continues to happen. And no, I do not think David Teague is the only problem at Carlton. I'm far from it. The problems are much deeper. But we need to go beyond this point of, is he the problem or is person X the problem? And go to the point, is person X the solution? And I don't know how many people in the joint right now we can positively say they are part of the solution. There is something seriously wrong in this football club. I mean, look at that. It's funny. North Melbourne, we talk about how good their direction is. They've got David Noble in the joint. It basically went scorched earth last year. And you look at what they're starting to deliver. Their spirit at North Melbourne, the shin boner spirit, is all about being uncompromising and, being accountable for each other, having some self-respect. We have to be the most compromising football club in the AFL competition. From the board level down. We compromise on everything. It's ridiculous. And it's not good enough. And the club, and I've said this before, they continue to, take and take and take and take and take and take and take, and they just haven't delivered. They haven't given anything. And they continue not to. I mean, there's little spurts and little bits and, things that we can hang our hat on. Yeah, it was great. We had a great last quarter last week, and that was great. And, we got Sam Walsh and, Harry Mackay and all that. But at the end of the day, it means fuck all. We are shit, Terry. We're rubbish. We're 6 years into this supposed rebuild, which is going to take us where we need to be, and we're rubbish. We are rubbish. And people, and Marcelo said it before, smell the coffee. We are rubbish. And there needs to be a massive clean-out from a lot of different levels. And I'm very interested to see what this review is going to find. Unfortunately, the difference between now and in past years where we've talked, the playing list 6 years ago was bad. I believe in my heart of hearts, from a pure on-paper talent perspective, the playing list is good enough to compete. But we consistently get let down. And we consistently lose these sorts of games. You were talking at the start of the year, we lost to the good teams. Then we lost to Sydney and West Coast. We losing to competent teams. We've lost to the Wooden Spooners, Terry. It's not good enough. No. The culture's so compromising. We're like, it's okay. It's all right. We'll sell some Crips wings. We made a profit. We signed up a Great Southern Bank, which is fantastic because clubs, you need to make money. And I'm fully cognizant of that. But again, it's something you and I and so many people have talked about. The number one thing in this joint is not winning anymore. It's not. You can't tell me it is, because it's just too compromising the way we play. The club is too compromising in general. We spruik so many things off field about how great that is, and we try to gloss over and make everything positive when stuff like this happens. It's not good enough.
No, it's not. It's not. And I think Kira might have put a quote from David Noble after the game, and Noble was talking about we're really motivated to not finish on the bottom. Have a listen to that. We're really motivated to not finish on the bottom. They don't want drive. They don't want the number one pick.
No.
You know where we're going. You know where this all leads to now. This all leads to a top 4 pick. Everyone just get put on ice. All the high paid players. Oh, you're a little sore. We don't want to risk you for next year because you're really providing for us this year. Go have a break. Get into your preseason, and we'll get a top 4 pick. Go back to the draft.
Exactly, and that's what's apparently going to fix all our problems. But it's so much deeper than that. I mean, the fact of the matter, as a fan base, and I said it this morning. Today was a real sliding doors moment for Carlton. This game today, yes, we had a couple of out, but this is a game we should be winning. Doesn't matter who's out. We in the stage of development where we are at, we had much more. For me, we had more talent out there, but we were tactically outclassed by a side in their infancy. Their first year rebuild. I mean, North Melbourne last year was saying they want to make finals. Then they realised, oh, fuck, we fucked this up. And they've started again. And we kept giving them the corridor. We made Aaron Hall look like David King. We made Ben Cunnington, we made Nick Larkey look like Wayne Carey.
Literally, this comment here.
It's not good enough, mate. And you know what? But it's all good because, as you said, I think you said this at the start. We'll get a press conference on Monday from Jacob Wiedering or Patrick Cripps or Liam Jones saying it's not good enough. We expect a response. I can't question the effort of AFL players and the joy. I don't know how you can say. I know he said that 5 weeks ago. You can't question the effort of AFL players. How can you say that after some of the efforts we saw today? How can you say that, Terry?
It's the formula is this. Now, obviously, we've all been here for the fan cams. I haven't seen the press conference, but I know the formula of the press conference after a loss. It's going to be pick the one stat where we did well at today, whether it's ground ball gets or uncontested possession or marks inside 50 or whatever, and latch onto that and say, oh, we really did well in X area, but we were let down in every other area. It's the full. I've read this book. I read this book every week.
But you know what? That same script has been going for the last 6 years. And that's before Teague. Bolton used that script. David Teague uses that script. And that's why at the end of the day, I am fully of the belief that come the end of this review, there will be a massive cleaner. He's just not the man. Yeah. He's not the man. And we need someone above these players that can drive those standards, because it's one or two things, right? Watching today, we either have the dumbest fucking footballers in the AFL or VFL or QAFL or the VAFA. Just some of the stuff we do is ridiculous, or we are not following instruction, or the instruction's not getting through. Either way, the message is not getting through, and we need someone to assist in driving those standards. It's not good enough, mate. And I don't know how people can stand, and everyone on here, to their credit, has said largely the same thing. And I'm not advocating for everyone to agree with each other, but it's just, we can't stand for that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the people, the constituents for this football club that matter are the fans. That's what the club constitution says. They perform for the fans. We need to stick together, and we need to, we help drive the standard from the hour, because it's just right now it's not working, and I'm angry. I'm at a loss. I know a lot of people are at a loss. I said this morning, as I said, it was a real sliding doors moment potentially today, and I think it was. We learnt everything we needed to know, and I think this will be seen as, career defining in a really bad way for a fair few people currently in the administration and playing level.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, mate. Appreciate you coming on as always. Well done this morning. You are the star of the Saturday morning show. And it's a shame that we were so excited this morning and we're feeling like this now.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. And thanks for everyone tuning in to Saturday shows. It means a lot. And like from a fan's perspective, stick together, guys. We're one big family.
Very true. Well done, mate. He's a star, Riley. We absolutely love him. Okay, who we got? Shannon.
Look, I usually come on here and make you smile, right?
You do, which you are.
How fucking hard is it to protect the corridor? So predictable. Like, they did it every single time, and you'd think we'd actually, change something. No, not David Teague. Oh, no, there's no plan B with David Teague. At this point, there's no fucking plan A either.
We lose the same way. It's literally we lose the same way. We get cut up in the same way.
And you know what it is? We always get hyped up and angry after a loss. It's because of the way we lose. It's not the fact that we lost, because losses happen, but it's the way we lose. It's shithouse. Our performances get worse. It's like, how could you possibly get worse than the last time you lost? And everyone said it. Putting Wiedering at full forward is the nail in the coffin. Like,
it's the ball. I was like, oh my god, it's Bolton.
Man.
It's Brendan Bolton again. Oh my god.
I can't. And it gets to the point where you just can't get angry anymore. I literally sat there just in silence for 20 minutes after the game, because what's the point in getting angry anymore?
Yeah.
Because we just, it's the same shit week after week. We always get hyped when we win. And like last week was fine because, we beat Collingwood. Like, you're supposed to get up and about for those games. But 18th, they are 18th, and we still can't beat them. I said it all week. North Melbourne is our bogey team. We cannot beat them even when we're at our peak.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, we've done it again. It's like something happened at halftime. Like, we're in front. We're like, okay, this is good, right? Shit first half, but we're in front. What happened? What was said at halftime? They came out and it's like they went home. It's like they literally went back home and didn't turn up. 7 unanswered goals is shit. It's shit football.
It is.
That's the stuff North Melbourne have dished up all year, that shit.
Correct.
And I fear for next week against St Kilda. I fear for St Kilda. They're another team that we just can't beat.
Yeah, they've got our measure. And
yes, North Melbourne beat West Coast, but fuck. It happens every year. Every year. And I'm sick to death of it now. Like, I was an advocate for David Teague, but I'm off the train. Fuck it. See you later. Bye. Like, if you're not going to show emotion in the coach's box and only pretend to show emotion at 3/4 time once the game's over, you're not my coach. Sorry. See you later. No on-field leadership either.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't usually get this fired up, but fuck it.
Well, when they're laying over like that, because there's losing, like we have lost a lot this year, but we haven't lost like that. We haven't looked like that.
Every year there's one game where we have an absolute capitulation, and last year it was Adelaide. The year before it was Gold Coast. Like, fuck me. Like, what do we have to do off field to get into their heads? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's from the fucking neck up.
Yeah.
Skill level aside, it's all mental. And they're not fucking putting the pressure on. They're not doing this monogram any justice. Correct. Like, I've been following this football club for 30 years, and I'm absolutely sick to death of the shit they put out every week. No more fucking heart. It's disgusting football. And I don't usually get this fired up, Terry. You know me. I'm not the type to get this fired up. It's fucking annoying now. It's to the point where I'm done.
Where people, they're driving the fans insane. We are literally driven because you know what it is? Rocco says it well. We got hoodwinked. The rebuild, just wait 5 years, let the kids develop, let them grow up, let them get 3 pre-seasons into them, and then we'll start rising. And there's like an anger because we all did that. We fucking listened.
We bought into it. We actually bought into it. And Rocco did say it perfectly. We were hoodwinked, and we're going to have to wait another 6 years because I don't see what development is happening right now. Yeah. We were promised the world with Andrew Russell, and we look slow. We look unfit. We look uninterested. I love this football club, just like everybody else here. Show me that you love the jumper just as much as we do. That's all we ask every week is show a little bit of heart. If you get beaten, pipped at the post, good. But show a little bit of heart. Fuck, they make me angry. I love them so much they make me this angry.
Well, that's what a family is. They're the people that you can love and hate and be angry with, and they're like siblings. They are. They're like siblings. The players. Now the coaches and that are not, but the players are like siblings. You love them. You're angry at them because you expect more from them because you love them. But
we know they can be better. We've seen that they can be better. This list, we have the list.
Yeah,
it's just up to the coaches now. And I'm sorry, this review's taking too long.
Yeah. On you, Shannon. Love ya.
Love you back. It's just, what can you do? Just pray.
That's right.
A miracle for next week.
Fingers crossed.
See you, Taz. Have a good night.
You too. See ya. All right. Costa. Got to get.
Hello. How are you?
How's it going, mate? We had requests. We have to get you on.
Yeah, they were my idiot mates. I'm sorry about that. I've been in Discord raging all day about the game. So,
what was that?
Yeah, bloody hell, mate. I don't even know. It was horrendous, and I don't think people are emphasizing enough on the point that it was Kerno's 200. Like that was the big one for me because, this bloke's he's given us so much over the last 20 games. Like he's one of my favorite players. The heart that he shows for the jumper is second to none, really. And the other 20 blokes, if they just take a slither of that heart, we're not the team that lose today. You know what I mean? And I thought last week it was Silvani's passing, which was obviously horrific. And, it was, we just showed no heart. And that was a reason to show heart last week. And I thought again this week we had a reason, but obviously not. Obviously this group don't have the will to want to win as much as they need to have to be a good football club. We've seen it time and time again over the last 20 odd years, really.
Yeah, or at least consistently, because they do have the will to win in like little spurts or, a quarter. And then you see they pile on 7 goals against the Pie. So they've got it like in spurts, but we're not here for fucking 1 week of good footy and then 2 weeks of trash footy followed up by a response, followed up by a complacency. Like it's just not enough.
Yeah, it's just quite evident that we rely on our stars. Like that's our game plan at the moment, right? Like when one of our top 3, that's Wittering, Mackay and Walsh, have a bad game, we lose. It's that simple. I mean, GWS Walsh was tagged up, we lost the game. When Mackay plays badly, we lose games. Today, Wittering had a bad game against Larkey. I mean, how does Larkey kick 7 in a game, really? How can we not lock up Nick Larkey of all people? I mean, when one of our best players do badly, the disparity between the top and the middle is just way too big at the moment. There's no one to step up to fill that void when one of our players aren't playing well. We can't rely on these players to play well every single week. It's not fair. I mean, we're doing that with Cripps for years and years, and now that he's kind of taken a bit of a back step to play the captain's role as we've urged him to, we need other players to start stepping up and helping him around him, and it's just not happening. I mean, in that forward line, as soon as Mackay's gone, that's one player. It's finished. We have no forward line structure whatsoever. I don't know whether that's a list problem, whether we haven't recruited enough talent to help out, but I don't really see how that's the problem because we've gone out and we've brought in players. I mean, I was thinking before, our worst aspect of the game is defense, and we spent $1 million a season on 2 players to fix our defense. I mean, we were in and got defenders last year in the trade period, and that hasn't helped. So I don't really understand where we've gone wrong. It's kind of confusing to me because we're in a competition that allows for bad teams to rebuild quickly. Like we get these high draft picks. We're in a pretty even competition. It's not like the soccer we can go out and spend hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's the reason why the clubs do so well. So it's kind of just bizarre to me how for the last 20 years we've been such a bad football club because they reward people for being bad in this league, right? And we've been one of the worst clubs, yet we can't seem to find a way to get better. And that screams culture to me. That's the problem. It must be. If we're getting all these number one draft picks consistently, you know, we've got Gibbs, Murphy, Cruiser. Now we've got the other ones coming through, Dow, Walsh. I mean, we're either picking the wrong players every single year, or there's something ingrained in our culture that isn't allowing us to develop these players to become something good. Because I've seen Melbourne be dog shit throughout the last 20 years. I've seen Hawthorn be bad. I've seen, you know, West Coast be bad. I've seen North be bad now. But these teams rebuild and then win premierships. Richmond couldn't crack the 8 for years and years and years, but they got the draft picks, they developed them up, and then won 4 flags in a row. I don't understand how Carlton of all teams can't do the same thing. I don't know why. Yeah.
No, it's just hard to keep believing that we're here, and you've always got the hope that one day in the future. That's really the only thing that keeps you going. That one day.
Yeah.
But then one day just gets further away every year.
Yeah, that's the messaging, right? That's always been the messaging for the last 3 years. It's been the belief things are going to change quickly. It's time for that messaging to stop. Like that rhetoric of things are going to change and it can change really quickly. Have a look at Brisbane. That's not enough. That's enough of. I don't want to hear that coming out of David Teague's mouth again, ever again.
Correct.
I'm sick of hearing it. Like I'm fucking to the top of my brain. I'm sick of hearing it. Like things are not going to just change. Things aren't going to happen overnight. There actually has to be systemic change from the ground up to actually make a difference so we can become a good football club again. It's not just going to change like it did with Brisbane because they made smart moves, right? They went in the trade period and got Lockie Neal. They did the right move. That they went and got, like, developed their young players. You see their young players being really good now. That's not happening with us. It's just not. Yeah, we've got Walsh coming through. He was always going to be good. He was a number one pick. Maybe not as good as we expected him to be now. But it's time that we put that messaging to the side, and it's time for now. We've got the list for it. That's a consistent message I've heard across everyone's fan cams, right? Like, we are underachieving with the list we have right now. And that's either coaching, culture, I think both, really. And hopefully this review actually uncovers things. I hope this just isn't a band-aid that we use to cover over everything that's going on. And then next year the same shit happens, because things need to change at this football club for us to be good again. We're tired of it. Like, we're sick as Carlton fans of watching our team be poor every single week. I mean, sport has such a big role in our lives to I know that it sounds kind of like stupid to say, but like, you know, every week, even with the COVID highlighting, everyone lives busy lives, everyone lives stressful lives. And on the weekend, for 3 hours a week, you get to watch the club you love play sport. And all we want to do is watch them play with heart, soul, and win. That's why we watch them. We rely on them to provide us with happiness. And it just hurts us time and time again when this team consistently lets us down from what we expect them to be able to do. So all we ask is for this team to just show a bit more heart. We know we've got the skill for it. We just need to start performing better. And this season's done now. I've heard you asking people already, like, what's next? There's nothing left this year. We have to be real with ourselves. We're not making the finals. We may as well just play young blood. I agree. Like, Josh Honey needs to come in. Kerno needs to get some consistency in before next year. Take Cottrell out of the team. I'm sick of him being there. Honestly, I don't like talking about players, but I don't understand the persistence with playing Cottrell. He's not AFL level. He can't kick the fucking footy. He can't find a target. Every time he's on it, he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, he runs, but this isn't long distance running. This isn't the Olympics. Like, it's done. He has to be cut. Like, I can't stand watching him anymore. I genuinely, it makes me angry that we're still allowing players like that to play in this team. Cottrell does not find a game in any other list in the AFL. He doesn't. Like, and I don't want to be too harsh on the bloke, but it's more of a representation of where we're at as a football club, that we're allowing people like this to keep getting games. When we've got people like Lockie O'Brien sitting in the reserves who's just not given a chance. So if you're not going to step up and perform, it's time that we be more ruthless and give young players a chance to develop instead of playing games on players who aren't showing anything. Same thing with Tom Williamson, in my opinion. Like, he needs to be dropped again. He's not doing anything back there that's worth any note. He doesn't look confident on the ball. I don't know. I'll stop because I'll go through the whole list in a second. But
no, it's well said. I appreciate you coming on and laying it out there. It's some food for thought. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and
I'll try.
Enjoy the Olympics.
Yeah, I will.
All right, mate.
Take it easy, mate.
See you, bro. Well said, Costa. All right. Mark? One sec. Is it Mark? Mark? Him? Hello? Well said.
One other thing, I hate to break your heart and break everyone's hearts here.
Yeah.
I'm retiring from the Blue shows and spending myself all of this year until this club fucking lives and proves something for what this fucking fraud.
Hello, mate.
Rules are just made to be broken. You do not try and be dictated by some foreign rule of how you tend to live your life, spiritually, physically, mentally. Firstly, how are you?
I'm disappointed. I'm broken. I'm shattered, but I'm here nonetheless.
We all are. We all are. As I said, rules are meant to be broken. I really had an oath to myself, but then sometimes there's always this trigger in the human body that will not allow you to push into a length that you wouldn't want to regret of doing something that you just wouldn't want to do. Hence, why I'm here. Why am I here? That's the big one, the why.
Yeah, why today?
Could I show you something?
Yeah.
Could I show you something? All right. You know what? I just had, firstly, shout out to Alex, and there'll be a few more shout outs coming. But anyways, he did play to me, but I will show you this. You see that? And that. And that's. Oh, wait, there's one more. Fuck, I could go all day. And that's. These are not just your so-called gold coin wrappers like eating a bar of chocolate. That is real gold of the premierships that I've succeeded, of course, through my indoor footy team called the Centimetre Perfect, as you would know. They've had a plethora of success. Finals, grand finals, multiple flags, all Australians. Look, that's just me. Okay, that's a bit of a brag on about. But anyways, that's the closest that the current Carlton Football Club players are ever going to get to gold out of any average Joe's face. It's the closest that anyone watching right now is going to get. Because you'd like to think, Terry, our past premiership players who are not going to be young forever, sooner or later, we don't even know when the next one's going to come and walk into that door and say, hey, guys, how you all doing? Do you want to be idolized of something that can maybe take you to the next level? And you show them this. Players will want to ask questions. How did you achieve that? What was the reasonings of you guys managed to bond together? How did you become successful? And the questions will be asked. It was mateship. We managed to follow certain rules that will allow us to succeed and obviously reach for the stars. Now you think, right, you got a couple of players who have got themselves podcast. We know that ex-delisted players like Daniel Gorringe and obviously Dylan Buckley, you know what? They even admitted themselves they couldn't cut it while they're doing that. But to have a couple of current players, I believe it's Zach Fisher and Michael Gibbons, guys, your players, you play for the club. As far as you having to do your own thing, while you're playing for this current club, maybe after your careers, if you want to do something like that, fine, I'll respect that. But when you're playing for this club in your prime years of your life, that will not be the same once he's hit 35 to 40. Scrap it out. Focus on winning games of football, because that is the job you are paid to do. And us fans like you, Terry, who has put in blood, sweat and tears on this Blue Abroad show, Paolo, Rocco and Marcello, who does the jumper punch, I'd be absolutely honoured to come on there one day, boys, because I'll tell you, I'll definitely show them the a la John Cena, Matt Owies ruthless aggression era that this club still needs, because they're lacking a lot of it. And I don't know who that third person was that was on your show. I forgot his name. Do you sort of remember who it was?
No, but I want to ask you, what did you think of the game today?
Just like the last 6, 7, 8 years, Terry. I mean, you've seen all the people that have just said the same thing that You know, and you could have asked someone that doesn't even know the game of AFL football would say the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we know how bad last year was. Yeah, no, go on.
No, I was going to say, so for the rest of the year, what do you want to see? Like, what are basically the last thing I'll leave you with before I let you go and bring other people on is what are the specific changes that you would want to see?
So I had that message. Oh, the specific changes.
Yes, to the point.
Yep. Play the kids that are due for opportunity. Trial some different positions and actually see how that goes. Because it's the only way forward, really. It's the only way forward.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Alex, Ed Finale. They're my Carlton boys as well that obviously play with me. But boys, you know, as you can tell, I'm not going to get absolutely frustrated or angry like I sort of did. Like, well, I mean, I did that before, but I mean, I had a sort of semi-pro approach. But look, guys, please, you've got 4 games left. And if there's any ounce, Murphy or even Eddie Betts, because if Betts plays another 4 more games, he gets to his 350th total games. Play with pride, play with heart. And boys, all I've got to say is this. 2022, you better team bring it like The Rock, or you're going to get the straight candy ass from me when I unleash more hell in 2022. God bless you, Terry. God bless everyone. And please, boys, fucking show pride. Hope you're fucking watching Carlton Football Club because this one's for you. Love you, Terry.
See you, mate. Hello, sir.
Terry.
How are you, mate?
Good, buddy. Mate, I think that guy likes to hear the own sound of his voice. And is he here to talk about Carlton or his own career?
No, he's all right. Mate, you're off for a walk to get away from the stress?
I've been steaming for the last 2 hours, Terry. I think I rang you about 8 weeks ago and we discussed the Blues, but today's performance is you could have had Wayne Carey up front, you could have had Jason Dunstall. That midfield got smashed. Absolutely smashed. No accountability. And that back line, it's like I told you before, it's like the Monash fucking freeway in that centre square with our team. But this all comes back to the coach. And it doesn't surprise me that we're in this position because the coach has got no idea. I've said it for a long time. He's got no idea. And his team selection every week is fucking baffling. So Murphy, and this is not a Murphy thing. Murphy hasn't played for how many weeks now, Terry? 4, 5, 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4.
Comes straight in as an emergency. No problem. Matt Owies, what happened to him last week? He got dropped or he got managed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Guess who comes in when we get an injury?
Matt Owies.
So, as a supporter, as a member, what do you think when you hear that?
Well, I'm at a point now where I just don't believe it.
Correct. And that's the problem with our side. I don't believe anything they're doing. I mean, tell me a game this year that Zach Williams has played where either he's not suspended or he's not injured. Tell me one game that he's played a full game apart from maybe last week. I can't name you one. Because every week he's suspended or he's injured. Okay? And every week we get beaten doing the same thing every single week. It's the same players week in, week out. What's Cottrell done to keep getting a game ahead of ahead of guys like O'Brien, Honey? Fuck, play Kemp this week. Fucking Charlie on half a leg would have been better than half the team today. Nothing changes with this side. We made Larky look like fucking Tony Lockett out there today.
It was fascinating, wasn't it?
It was disgusting. I mean, how many times did the ball go over our heads and they were free in the forward line? How many times tonight? So we all say that, you know, they're playing for the coach. They're doing this. Are they? They didn't give a yelp. He sits there like a fucking statue in that coach's box. That's what's frustrating for me. He doesn't show any emotion. Yet we come out here and we show emotion because we care. These players don't give a fuck. You can see that, Terry. They don't care.
They don't seemingly care enough the way they should.
But that's the problem. I mean, North Melbourne haven't been too bad the last month, so we can't say, in theory, we lost to the last side. I get it, but they haven't been as bad as a Collingwood or a Hawthorn or these types. So we just got absolutely smashed in that forward in that midfield today. Absolutely cleaned up in that midfield today. You know,
Yeah.
Walsh. I love Walsh. He got killed today, but that's fine. It's okay. He's had a kid. But who helps him? Nobody helped him. And that is the problem. I mean, you know, try something, Teague. Half-time, Stocker didn't get a touch before the half. Move him into the midfield. Just try something different. So he pulled the ace out of the pack and he put Wiedering to full forward. Well done, Teague. Fucking well done, buddy.
Can you believe that?
Fuck? Yeah, but the ball wasn't going in the forward line. So, no, I do believe it, Terry, because it's the same shit we hear week in, week out with this mob. I mean, we've made a lot of fucking bad moves in the last. I mean, Andrew Russell. I'll keep going back on this fitness guy, Andrew Russell. What has he shown us in the last 2 years? Honestly,
We're not fitter, that's for sure.
we're not fitter. Our game plan has not improved one iota, not one iota. And mate, I actually wanted to get pumped today by 12 goals after that third quarter, because these junk time goals were just useless. You know, Cottrell keeps getting a game. Murphy keeps getting a game. Yeah, always was dropped. Why play him? I just don't understand what is going on at this club after 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, whatever the fucking rebuild is.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep doing this, mate. I told you last time, I don't know how you keep doing this. But fuck, it's frustrating to watch, mate. It's so bad to watch, and they don't care. That's the problem.
Yeah, we care more than what they do, seemingly, you know. But no,
That's
well
the
said,
sad
mate.
part.
Well,
Thanks,
very
buddy.
well said. I'm going to get you to move on, but
See you, mate.
thanks for calling in.
Ciao.
See you, mate. All right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 people left. Let's make these very quick, please, because I'm getting towards the end of what's in my tank. Adam from Arizona, hello, sir.
How's it going, Terry? I'll try to make this as short as I can. What the fuck was that? Honestly, I'm fucking livid with that. It's just, it's the nail in the coffin for this season. I had a great day, personally, on personal achievement wise, and to just come to Carlton, have a few beers, and then for this to happen, I'm livid. I'm pissed. I have to laugh, or else it's just gonna, I'm gonna bottle it,
Right. It's important, mate. It's important you let it out, for sure. I mean, you've really seen in the last 2 weeks, it's literally the definition of this club in 2 weeks. We pull out a performance with heart and spirit and emotion and love and sacrifice, and then the very next week, we literally roll over like dead dogs.
Right. There's no structure. There was a change in game plan in North's game, and they just picked us the fuck apart, man. I don't know what to say. It's terrible. It's awful. I don't know, man. That's really dampened my day.
Yeah. Well, what time is it there now?
1:20 in the morning.
1:20 in the morning, mate. It's great commitment. Appreciate you being here, and hopefully we can chat next week and it can be better.
I hope so, man. That's, whatever. We had the nerve as a club to say, talk about finals and, stuff like that. In the last week, the fans, the club, and what a fucking joke, man. That's a joke.
It is a joke. It is a joke. But they'll sleep tonight. They'll go to bed, collect their checks.
Yeah. What? We pay over $500,000 a year for any free agent that willing to come to us. Why wouldn't they come here? Tell me.
It's true.
And what about Teague? I mean, I'm not against the guy. I don't have the license to say, oh, we should sack him, we should do this, and we should do that with him. But if he's sacked by, Monday, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying that right now, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I think it's just too hard to do that right now, which is what makes it worse to watch for those who have given up on Teague. There are still some and many that believe we should stick fat and put assistant coaches around him, and that's fair enough as well. But for those who are off the Teague train, there is just an inevitability each week because they don't believe in what he's doing. So it's tough, mate. It's tough. But the fact that you're seeing it says a lot. So, yeah. Listen, congratulations. I think I saw you got a license.
Commercial driver's license. I can legally drive a semi-truck in America as long as I have somebody who actually has a commercial driver's license in the truck with me.
Yep. Well, mate, listen, congratulations on that.
Appreciate it.
Keep plugging away and working hard, and we'll chat
Appreciate
soon.
it, mate. Carlton, I'll fuck you, and I'll see you next week.
Well said. All right, where we got Andrew. Hello, mate.
Terry.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Well, geez, what a difference it was from last week, eh?
That's the life we live, mate. That's the life that we live.
I've followed Carlton for a lot of my life. My brother-in-law used to take me down to the park in Brisbane.
Yep.
Used to kick the footy, and he was a Carlton supporter and used to play for the local Brisbane side, which is Cooperoo, which had the Carlton colours. So, I've been on board for quite a while, and I'm 56 now. And the heyday was great in the 80s. We had Kernahan and David Rees-Jones. You had all those champions that just put the marks on the board consistently, and now look where we are. It's just heart-rending, to be honest.
Is this the worst you've ever seen the club in your time?
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. I was born in 65. I know we had wins in the 70s. We had our heyday was pretty much the 80s. We had really good wins in the 80s. We had one in the 90s, and that's it. But listen, the history is there. I believe the team we have has got what it takes to become a great team.
Yeah.
It just needs the leadership to get it there, and I think that's where it's sadly lacking. And I work in IT. I am measured by KPIs, which are key performance indicators. And if I don't perform, right, I don't get docked, but I get questioned. I get called into the office. Why can't these players, if they're not meeting the KPIs, why can't they say, right, we're taking 50 grand off your salary, or we're giving some sort of penalty, to say
performance-based contracts.
Get it together.
Yeah. Performance-based contracts, mate. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Have a base salary and have extras for if you achieve things like the Coleman Medal, like an All-Australian squad, like X goals or whatever it is. But I guess it's a hard one when you don't know what's going on the inside and what's in the contracts and whatnot. But it's just hard from the supporters' point of view, just to see everyone feel this roller coaster and not have any confidence in anything being stable. That's what I'm seeing at the moment.
We had so many opportunities. So it was DeConning took that mark, and Fisher had opportunities, and they just didn't use it. I'm thinking, I don't know. Is it maturity? Is it? I don't know. What is it? It's just
yeah.
Anyway,
it's hard, mate. But we'll keep fronting up. Hopefully, speak to you next week.
No worries. I've taken myself off the Kool-Aid just as a punishment because we all got to suffer somehow.
We do. That's why I'm on the waters.
Good on you, buddy. All right, I'll leave it with you. See you.
Chris Beach. Hello, sir.
First off, I'm not surprised. Every year, every time we've played North Melbourne, doesn't matter if it's in Tasmania, doesn't matter if it's in Melbourne, we've somehow, each and every time, played them into form. Every single time. Go back through the history books of the recent years, and you will see the exact same thing. 100% straight away.
So true. It's so true. Yeah. What was your, I mean, there's a lot that happened today, but for the sake of being efficient, what was your number one takeaway from the entire day?
How many times did we target Owies? That's my takeaway point. Because that was far too many times. And North Melbourne just picked this off. One, 2, 3, each time. Yes, Mackay wasn't playing, but so what? You've got to beat the team in front of you. Unfortunately, that's not what happened.
It's true. Yeah. No, I like it. It's we're obviously not mature enough yet. We would hope that by year 6 that there would be maturity throughout the group. Still a lot of good players out there today, but it wasn't to be, mate. It wasn't to be.
Exactly. And there are people out here that would love to represent our club as much as representing our country at the Olympics at the moment. Now, whether they're sitting in whether they're sitting in the stands like us, or whether they're coming through the football ranks, I can assure you they're going to want to show as much care as us compared to the rest of them that were out there today.
Yeah. Very well said, mate. As always, very well said. You enjoy watching the Aussies because they'll play with the passion that we want to see.
Exactly. And I'm pretty much just counting down the hours because I've been cleared to get out of quarantine as of tonight. So I'm very happy with that.
Love it, mate. Good on you, Beachy. See you next week.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Josh, what was your number one takeaway from today?
Season's dead. It's a dead season, 100%. I think it starts at the coaching box. I'll try and be as quick as I can, by the way. But starts at the coaching box. We have no game plan. We let North Melbourne. How do we seriously cop our biggest loss of the entire season to the team that is on the bottom of the ladder? That's what pisses me off the most about this. We got no depth, our forward line, no Harry, no Carlton. I don't know. Some of our players are just not confident. Look at Petrescu-Seaton. All he does is 15-metre kicks. It's his specialty kick, the little chips. Now, for the people that are saying Teague needs to go by Monday, I don't think so. Just let him coach the season out. The players don't need another distraction. There's already enough going on with the review. Just the season's dead. Play the kids. Get Kemp in. Get Charlie in. They need the games. But yeah, that's just my takeaway.
Yeah. I love it. Short and sharp. Efficient, mate. I love it. Love your work.
All good, mate.
Have a good one, hey?
You too.
See you, bro. Zach, what was your number one takeaway from today, brother?
Well, where do I begin? I just think this season we've had losses versus West Coast, Sydney, GWS, North Melbourne, and Geelong, where we're just questioning everything, the board, the coach, the players. Why do we keep having these losses when we were supposed to be better this season? I don't understand.
Well, that's right. We thought that these losses were a thing of the past and probably looks better than what it was, really, to be honest, especially that second half.
Yeah, just goals in garbage time, really.
Yeah.
To make it look like it was close, to make it look like, we actually had a plan. Because so many times they just went from their back line to our forward line so quickly over the top. And how many goals they kicked from the goal square? Too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Way too many.
Yeah. And it was just really disappointing.
Yeah.
No, but we'll be there next week.
We'll be there next week, mate. I hope to see you again.
Next week. Oh, well.
All right. You have a good one.
You too. See ya.
See ya. Paddy, what was your number one takeaway today, brother?
Number one take was I'm not fucking surprised. You asked for it, Terry, and I shot it straight down the line, mate.
That's how I want it, mate. That's how I want it. Straight to the point. Said it how it is. That's why we get you on.
Dead set. You know how you're going to play from the get-go. I don't know how many times. I reckon I've even said it to you or whoever. You know how you're going to play from the first bounce. And from the first bounce, you can see, obviously, they were told, lower your eyes. But we just don't have the skill execution to tweak the game plan. We don't have the coaching staff to help with that either, which is a major issue.
You know what's an interesting one? Because one thing I hear all year from Teague, even in the preseason, was, these guys are working so hard and I just want them to get the reward for their effort. And I've just started thinking now, as you said that, how hard are they really training? How much pressure are they really putting on themselves at training? Because in any sport that I've ever played, my coach used to always say, you train how you play. And I wonder what kind of pressure they're putting on each other at training. Because
look, we only go off snippets from the social media group. So, but in those snippets, it's literally a 30-second little drill, and then they're on to the next. Like, all right, restart another group. So it's sort of like we can't really go off by that, but you can in a sense because the way that we play are in glimpses. So I don't know if they think like, oh, look, I've tried. Let's get the next crew in, and they're in their next line. And I don't know if I'm reading into it a little bit too much like that, but it seems like that we play like that, you know, just because they've finished their job or they think they've finished their job because it's not good enough, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Then it moves on to the next line and think, all right, that's another person's or that's another teammate's problem.
Yeah.
So but it's the same mentality that's been around for 30 years, 20 to 30 years. So going into the game today, regardless if we had Harry or not, I wasn't confident. I wasn't confident. So, and when we lost Harry, I just thought, okay, you watch, we've managed Owies, and yet Owies is a first emergency. So don't bullshit us. I saw you post in the middle of the week as well saying as soon as Harry was done, it's like we've been lied to throughout the whole year and all this other hoo-ha. But that's the other thing is, so I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Terry. It's almost 2 hours. But Owies, so he's inexperienced. And yes, it's his first real crack at it this season. But the issue with our club is we're playing him games where he's a 24-year-old, and in good sides he would be third, fourth, piddle. So he's got his crack after playing probably a handful, half a dozen games in the twos, and in he goes. How does that look for the development? With Ramsey, Honey, and all these other blokes that are coming through. That I agree, we don't have the depth there, but how are they thinking in development? They're more than happy to have a kick around in the twos because they've seen what it's like in the seniors, and that's the issue. There's no pressure coming up in from the twos, or we don't have near enough depth. And yes, we've been riddled with injuries, but I know we recruited him as the saviour, Andrew Russell, but since he's been on board, I don't think I've ever seen this amount of injuries or lack of fitness in our playing group in ever. Yeah. So it's like going into today, I was never confident. Seeing from the first bounce, not confident. Larky kicking 6, Weeders in forward line. It's Bolton days. Honestly, it's one of the darkest days in our club's history today because it was a sliding doors open, as a few callers back said before, because it was an opportunity for the coaching staff to say, hey, we're legit here. We can tweak game plans. We can use structure. And it was just none of that. Just none of that, mate. And I know everyone else has been pissed off, but this one's really And it seems like it's almost automatic how pissed off we always are.
Yeah. Good on you, mate. Love ya. Love having you on. I'll speak to you next week.
See you, Terry.
See you, mate. All right, we've got Carl and then Vince, and then I'm getting out of here because I'm done. Carl, mate, talk to me.
How are you, mate? How you going?
I'm going all right.
Yeah, so I'll just be very, very quick as well. just the plan B. Harry goes out. In your mind, do you think that that's the main thing, that we just don't seem to have any sort of plan B?
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw Wiedering in that forward line today, it was pretty clear. Eh? Can you fucking
mate, that was
believe
pretty
that?
bad, wasn't it? Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, mate, it was either him or, Jones maybe. So, there wasn't much. Did we have, no tools like in the twos that we could have brought in?
Well, Levi's in there.
Mm.
So, I don't know, but I don't know.
And then, he waits until, the last quarter to make moves. Why not make some moves earlier? Yeah.
Halfway through the third quarter would have been handy.
Yeah, exactly. And just as everyone else has said, just the same look in that box. Doesn't go down to the bench. Doesn't, grab the players by their tops. I don't know, mate. It's just I feel really flat, and I feel sorry for Mark and Jad and Rocco and Paolo, and all the boys, mate. I just love this fan cam. I love your shows, and thanks heaps for that. That's a top, mate. I love that top.
No, I appreciate you grabbing one, mate.
No. That's good, mate. Very good, mate.
Appreciate you supporting the channel. It means a lot.
No, that's sweet, mate. So, look, mate, just to finish off, I hope we can play the kids. Charlie, if he's ready, play him. And hopefully we can do all right these last 4 games.
Fingers crossed, brother. Well said.
All right, mate. See you, mate. All the best.
See you, mate. All righty. Vince.
Oh, Terry.
Should start calling you the Oracle because you saw it coming.
Last week I said I had egg on my face because I tipped against Carlton and I tipped Collingwood. Today, I feel like I've got 10 times more egg on my face for tipping Carlton.
Oh, no! You went a week early.
I drank the Kool-Aid, mate. I fell for the trap. They do it to me every time. I feel the pain of all of the supporters. Look, I feel sport being the age I am, having seen as much, success as most people with Carlton. But I take my hat off to any of you guys, including you, Terry. I mean, you're only 30, so you haven't seen too much in your lifetime, and you keep sticking by us. But if there's one thing I am starting to see and hear, and I've listened through just about every single one of your viewers tonight that have come on, they're getting sick and tired of it to the point where they have had a gutful. They have had enough. They're done. I know that there's four more games and they'll probably come on next week and all the other weeks, but I reckon they've put the cue in the rack. Psychologically and mentally, they've invested a lot into the club and they just don't see any real improvement. Before today's game, we had 7 wins from 17 games. It's exactly the same as what we had last year, 7 wins from 17 games. Because last year we only played every other team once. Our percentage before the start of this game was 93.9. Last year it finished on 94.3, so it's basically the same. But after today, losing to the bottom team, one of the reasons I tipped Carlton today was because we've proven all year that we can beat all of the sides around us on the ladder, whether they be below us or just above us. All of those teams that are sort of positioned 10th or below, we've been able to beat them all. Including Collingwood last week, which, of course, we lost to in round 2. But, so far, the only teams we've really lost to have been all the top 8 teams. But to lose to bottom place North Melbourne, that's going to cost someone their job, mate. And I'm sorry to say this, and I know a lot of people think, no, we should stick with the coach for at least 3 years. That's his contract. And, none of the other coaches that have, been successful did much in their first couple of years. And I agree with that. But I just know how the Carlton board operates. If they can't sell, if nothing else, Carlton has become the Carlton corporate club. And they need to sell something. They need to sell a message and to sell hope and to sell some sort of belief that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and everyone should jump on board and be part of that. What are they going to be able to sell into next year, really? I can't see Luke Sayers as an incoming president accepting this level of, performance. It's just mediocrity upon mediocrity. Now, he's been part of the board for 9 years, but if he wants to establish himself as a new president with higher standards and a demand, not just an expectation, but to demand success, he's going to need to get that message through at the very start. And I see that this review, which is apparently due at the end of this week, due to be completed, I can't see David Teague surviving it. I just can't. I think that's a tough call on him, but knowing Carlton the way they are and the Messiah mentality, if you like, that exists at the club and the need to, sell something, I just don't know how they're going to sell sponsorships and memberships and all that sort of thing going into next year based on performances like this year. I think one of the other guys mentioned earlier that we haven't had even an upset win over anybody.
Yep.
We've probably the highest ranked team at the moment is Essendon. That's if they stay in the 8. But there's also a chance that they may not finish in the 8. If you want to call that an upset win, I wouldn't call it an upset win. If you upset a Western Bulldogs or a Melbourne or a Brisbane or a Port Adelaide or a Geelong, yeah, then I'd say it's an upset, but not an Essendon. So there's nothing to hang your hat on in terms of hope and anything. I mean, all you can do is say, oh, well, we expect to get a few more players back. We expect Charlie Curnow to play next year. We expect Brodie Kemp to be, blooded into the team next year. We expect David Cunningham to come back. But are they going to make all the difference? I don't think so. I think the coaching staff have got a lot to answer for. I think all year their selection integrity has been very, very questionable. Where they've played their players, that many times they've played them out of position and without success. I just fear that David Teague has probably just signed his own senior coaching career death warrant today against his old team that he used to play for.
True.
Before he played for us. But anyway.
He said he had a soft spot for him in his press conference on Thursday or Friday. So anyway, let's see how we go, mate.
Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just, I'll be very surprised if this review does not claim a major scapegoat, because that's the main reason it was called for in the first place, to give the board something as a basis to then cut people off and use them as the scapegoat. And I think, from one point of view, it stinks because they never apply the same standards to themselves. It's their strategies, their rebuild, all of that was stemming from the board. And none of them have been prepared to say, you know what, we got this wrong. We should stand aside. They all just keep replacing coaches and, administration staff, whether it be CEOs or director of football, et cetera, et cetera. It's always down the chain. But I think it was Jad that said before, nothing's going to change at board level. He was 100% right. Nothing is going to change unless there is a red-hot challenge. And that means a ticket of people who come together and say, we're going to put ourselves up as an alternative and we're going to create an EGM, like what's happening at Collingwood, and we're going to give our members a choice, because at the moment the members don't have a choice. Even if they have an alternative of one person on the board, one person out of 8 is not going to change the board. It's only a ticket that's going to change it. And by and large, this current group of people on the board, and some of them have come and gone during this time, but essentially the people that are really pulling the strings at the board level, they've been in charge now for damn near 10 years or more. I think it's time for them to accept that, hey, they've had a decent go at it. Their strategies haven't worked, and it's time not just for us to pass the baton down from Le Giudice to Sayers, but to say, you know what, all of us should, if anything, vacate our positions, even if we want to go up again and retain those positions.
Yeah.
We should spill the positions and allow the members to either give us the vote of confidence to keep going, or if they choose to have a new set of people on the board, this is their opportunity to do it.
I like it.
But you got to be prepared to go up for it.
It's very true.
Anyway, mate, food for thought.
Always.
I'm surprised I haven't approached you, Mr. Degani.
Maybe. We'll see how we go.
Anyway.
All right, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Keep our fingers crossed for next week against St Kilda, but we're going to have our work cut out, I can tell you.
I can't wait for it.
All right, mate. All the best.
See you, mate. Okay. 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's an absolute fan cam record. Thanks very much for everybody that came on tonight. I've got to say, like, the way everybody articulates themselves, like, this fan cams has really developed from when we started doing it last year. And, you know, people's way of expressing has improved and developed. And I just think you should all take some credit for that. But thanks for being a part of it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you're not feeling as shitty about it as what you were 2 hours and 14 minutes ago. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at the press conference on Monday. We'll see what the words are. We'll see what the distractions are. I think what I'm going to be looking out for are every single bit of information that comes out, whether it's a post, is it a competition from one of our sponsors, the Tripper Deal 10K, the Great Southern Bank money giveaway, the draw in a cartoon giveaway for the kids. Like, what are we putting out there? And I'm going to be reading really closely into it, and that's important. So disappointing. Also, don't forget, we've got one more week left for those of you who want to win the special Guernsey, the 150-year anniversary Guernsey, which they don't really represent this anymore. But once upon a time, this meant a lot. So for those of you who have purchased merch from the shop in July, you've all got into the draw. And that's really it. So the link is on YouTube at the moment. It's pinned. I'm out of here. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to watch the Olympics and see you guys over the next few days. Probably won't do the review tomorrow. I might give it a rest. I need a bit of a break. But take care of yourselves and go the Mighty Blues.